Fabrication and impermanence. Impermanence work for us. There are many benefits to understanding the notion of assembly, how creating even one world egg involves such a vast number of phenomena. When we learn to see the assembled part of all things and situations, we learn to cultivate forgiveness, understanding, open-minded and fearlessness. For example, some people still single out Mark Chapman as the sole culprit in John Lennon's murder. Perhaps if our celebrity worship weren't so great, Mark Chapman would not have created the fantasy of killing John Lennon. 20 years after the fact, Chapman admitted that when she shot John Lennon, he didn't see him as a real human being. His mental instability was due to a large number of assembled factors: brain chemistry, upbringing, the U.S. mental health care system. When we can see how sick and tormented mind is assembled and recognize the condition under which it is operating, then we are better able to understand and forgive the Mark Chapmans of the world. As in the case of the boiled egg, even if we were to pray for the assassination not to be, it would have been inevitable. But perhaps even with this understanding, we still fear Mark Chapman because of his unpredictability. Fear and anxiety are dominant psychological state of human mind. Behind the fear lies a constant longing to be certain. We are afraid of the unknown. The mind's craving for confirmation is rooted in our fear of impermanence. Fearlessness is generated when you can appreciate uncertainty, when you have faith in the impossibility of this interconnected component remaining static and permanent. You'll find yourself, in a very true sense, preparing for the worst while allowing for the best. You become dignified and majestic. This quality enhances your ability to work, wage war, make peace, create family, and enjoy love and personal relationship. By knowing that something is lying in wait for you just around the bend, by accepting the countless potentialities exist from this moment forward, you acquire the skill of pervasive awareness and foresight like that of a gifted general. Not paranoia, but prepare. For Siddhartha, if there is no impermanence, there is no progress or change for the better. Dumbo the flying elephant came to understand this. As a youngster, he was outcast because of his enormous ear. He was lonely, depressed, and afraid that he would be kicked out of the circus. But then he discovered that this deformity was unique and valuable because it enabled him to fly. He became popular. Had he trusted impermanence to begin with, he wouldn't have suffered so much in the beginning. The recognition of impermanence is the key to freedom from fear of remaining forever stuck in a situation, habit, or pattern. Personal relationships are the most volatile and perfect example of assembled phenomena and impermanence. Some couples believe that they can manage their relationship until death do us part. By reading books or consulting with a relationship doctor, knowing that men are from Mars and women are from Venus provide the key to only a few obvious causes and conditions of disharmony. However, to a certain extent, their small understanding may help create temporary peace, but they don't address the many hidden factors that are part of the relationship assembly. If we could see the unseen, then maybe we could enjoy the perfect relationship, or maybe we would never start one in the first place. Applying Siddhartha's understanding of impermanence to relationship leads us to a pleasure described in Juliet's poignant word to Romeo. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Parting moments are often the most profound in a relationship. Every relationship must end eventually, even if it is because of death. Thinking this, our appreciation for the cause and condition that have provided each connection is heightening. It is especially powerful if one partner has terminal illness. There is no illusion of forever, and that is surprisingly liberating. Our caring and affection become unconditional, and our joy is very much in the present. Giving love and support is more effortless and satisfying when our partner days are numbered. But we forget that our days are always numbered. Even if we understand intellectually that everything born must die and that everything assembled will eventually disintegrate, in our emotional state, we constantly slip back into opening out a belief in impermanence, entirely forgetting interdependence. This habit can foster all kinds of negative states, paranoia, loneliness, guilt. We may feel put upon, threatened, mistreated, neglected, as if this were unjust to us alone. Impermanence is the good news. Buddha wasn't a pessimist or a doomsayer. He was a realist, while we tend to be escapists. When he stated that all assembled things are impermanent, he didn't intend for that to be bad news. It is simple, scientific fact. Depending on your perspective and on your understanding of this fact, it can become a gateway to inspiration and hope, glory and success. For example, to the extent that global warming and poverty are products of insatiable capitalist condition, this misfortune can be reversed. This is thanks to impermanent nature of assembled phenomena. Instead of depending on supernatural powers such as God's will to reverse such negative trend, a simple understanding of the nature of assembled phenomena is all that is needed. When you understand phenomena, you can manipulate them and thus affect cause and condition. You might be surprised how much a small step like just saying no to plastic bag will postpone global warming. Recognizing the instability of cause and condition leads us to understand our own power to transform obstacles and make the impossible possible. This is true in every area of life. If you don't have a Ferrari, you very well may create the condition to have one. As long as there is a Ferrari, there is the opportunity for you to own one. Likewise, if you want to live longer, you can choose to stop smoking and exercise more. There is reasonable hope. Hopelessness, just like its opposite, blind hope, is the result of a belief in impermanence. You can transform not only your physical world, but your emotional world. For example, turning agitation into peace of mind by letting go of ambition, or turning low self-respect into confidence by acting out the kindness and philanthropy. If we all condition ourselves to put our feet in other people's shoes, we will cultivate peace in our homes, with our neighbors, and with other countries. These are all examples of how we can affect assembled phenomena on a mundane level. Siddhartha also found that even the most severe level of hell and damnation are impermanent because they too are assembled. Hell doesn't exist as a permanent state somewhere underground, where the damned suffer eternal torture. It is more like a nightmare, a dream in which an elephant trouble you comes about because of a number of a condition. First all sleep, and perhaps you have some negative history with elephants. It doesn't matter how long the nightmare lasts. During that time you are in hell. Then, because of the cause and condition of an alarm clock, or because you simply have finished sleeping, you wake up. The dream is a temporary hell, and it is not unlike our concept of a real hell. Similarly, if you have hurted toward a person and engaged in act of aggression or revenge, that in itself is an experience of hell. Hatred, political manipulation, and revenge have caused hell on this earth. For example, when a young boy, shorter, thinner, and lighter than the AK-47 he carried, doesn't have even one day opportunity to play or celebrate his birthday because he is too busy being a soldier. This is none other than hell. We have this kind of hell because of cause and condition, and therefore we can also exit this hell by using love and compassion as antidote to anger and hatred, as Buddha prescribed. The concept of impermanence doesn't foretell Armageddon or the apocalypse, nor it's a punishment for our sins. It is not inherently negative or positive. It is simply part of the process of the compounding of things. We usually appreciate only half of the cycle of impermanence. We can accept birth but not death, accept gain but not loss, or the end of the exam but not the beginning. True liberation comes from appreciating the whole cycle and not grasping onto those things that we find agreeable. By remembering the changeability and impermanence of cause and condition, both positive and negative, we can use them to our advantage. Wealth, health, peace, and fame are just as temporary as their opposite. And of course, Siddhartha wasn't favoring heaven and heavenly experience. They are equally impermanent. We might wonder why Siddhartha said that all assembled things are impermanent. Why not just say that all things are impermanent? It would be correct to say that all things are impermanent without the qualifying word assemble. However, we must take every opportunity to remind ourselves of the first part, the assembly, in order to maintain the logic behind the statement. Assembly is a very simple concept, yet it has so many layers that to understand it deeply, we need constant reminder. Nothing that exists or functions in the world, no construct of the imagination or the physical plane, nothing that passes through your mind, not even your mind itself, will stay as it is forever. Things might last for the duration of your experience of this existence or even into the next generation, but then again, it may dissolve sooner than you expect. Either way, eventual change is inevitable. There is no degree, probability, or chance involved. If you feel hopeless, remember this and you will no longer have a reason to be hopeless, because whatever is causing you to despair will also change. Everything must change. It is not inconceivable that Australia will become part of China, Holland will become part of Turkey. It is not inconceivable that you will cause the death of other human beings or be bound to the wheelchair. You may become a millionaire or a savior of all humankind, or Nobel Peace Prize laureate, or an enlightened being.